Everything's nice and even.
And so I got up to when I was 46 years of age, where I was 240 pounds, which is pretty heavy for a guy 5'6". And I had a 43-inch waist, and next thing you know, I had a stroke. After a month in the hospital and begging for them to put me in rehab, which they weren't ready to do, I got into rehab by pushing real hard, and I said, I'm going to get well. And the doctors told me, neurologists told me, that I'd be in a wheelchair the rest of my life, that I'd never walk again.
Think about those calves. That's it. That's what carries us.
My focus, David.
Your focus, buddy. Those calves carry you through life.
I remember coming home and talking to Bertie about it when they finally let me come home for a weekend. And I was so discouraged. I said, honey, you don't deserve this. This was my fault. I didn't eat right. I didn't take care of myself. And if you want a divorce, I'll give it to you. Because you're a young girl, and you don't need this. You don't need to push me around a wheelchair the rest of my life. And she, at that point, the next morning, she didn't say nothing. The next morning, I got up, and here's a note scribbled on a card that said, the only thing that counts is we got each other. And I went to my knees to the Lord, and I said, Lord, between you and I need to get out of this wheelchair somehow, some way.
Well, I tell you what, this is a long way from where you came from. Big push. Let's go again, big push.
When I got to be about 55, I decided to take on my weight. And when I started doing that, I dropped 80 pounds by thinking right and taking it in hand and going for it.
Look at you now. I remember when you walked in here.
I do too.
You're not the same person. Well, Dex, this is going to be 1,000 pounds. 10 plates aside plus the machine comes roughly to 1,000 pounds. Okay? When you're ready, I'm ready. You push off first. Use your hands and push off. Hands on your thighs. 10. 1. That's it. I'm with you.
7.
That's it.
8.
2 more.
9.
1 more.
10.
Lock it.
I did it. I did it. I feel great. This was impossible when I came.
10.
Lock it. They said you couldn't walk?
Yep.
Well, you need to bring them to the gym and show them what it's like to train.
Everybody said it was impossible. But through my faith, I can accomplish anything. I just love people. I always have. But I think along the line of my life, my compassion has always been to help people that wanted to help themselves. So we're in the business of helping people develop a good self-image and good self-confidence. And I don't think there's much better that you can do in America than this.
So these principles of success can be applied to anything people do, whether it's being an IBO or whatever people do. These principles are timeless. They go for anything.
I had a dentist call me recently, and he said, Dexter, I got to stay on your mailing list. I got to stay on everything. He said, I've dropped out of the business, but it's changed my life so much. He says, and I'm building my dental industry very big, bigger than I could ever have dreamt, but I need your influence. You know, and people need the influence of driven people. The secret of living is giving. It's dreaming. It's loving other people. And love is the glue that holds it all together. When we started the charity dinner, that was to feed poor people around the world. That was the first cause. Each charity dinner, the co-chairman was always the president's wife. It was Mrs. Reagan. It was Mrs. Bush. It was Mrs. Carter. So it's gone across all the lines and all the parties. Bertie and I were sitting in the house with friends of ours from Africa that had started over 2,000 churches in Africa, and they were telling us about all these kids that were out on the streets, and they were in crime and everything, and they were bringing some of them in their home. And I'm saying, how many kids you got in their home? And I think they said they had like 14 in the home at the time. And I said, you need an orphanage. Well, we don't have the money. I said, well, what's it cost them? And we wrote a check so they could build the first dorm. And the government told them they had to have kitchens and stuff, and they wanted to close the dorms on them. So we said, okay, we're going to have reading material for the kids. We'll have a library, we'll have videos, we'll have books for them to read, we'll have a nice kitchen, and we sent more money, and it was done. And that's something that's close to us. And we bought a car for the orphanage and sent it over there. And we bought a helicopter, a Hughes Bell helicopter to go back and the way back where people couldn't be reached.
It's a wonderful thing to be able to do those kind of things now, because we know we've been in some of those situations ourselves. We gave Dex's parents a brand new Cadillac for Christmas. They were like, no way, this can't be for us. That was something that Dex had always wanted to do, was give his dad a new Cadillac, and that was just right.
Bertie and I have always cared about people, and we got to teach people they can be anything they want to be, and that successful people do believe in them, and tell people success depends upon you and what you do. It's in your hands.
Dynamite. This is you. You can become bigger than me. But I'll guarantee you'll have your tongue hanging out when you go by.
When we were in Rome, I could never believe this. This is gorgeous.
You see all these beautiful homes here, and back in Rome when we didn't know people like this, we never thought that we'd even know people that own places like this.
We have a choice of where we want to live and how often we want to. 2 weeks ago, we were up to our mountain house in Tennessee, and one of our mountain houses, we have 3 getaways in the mountains of Tennessee, and I'm looking at building a 4th one, maybe a 5th one up there. Our homes here, which are log cabins, as same as our mountain homes are, and these are a little bit oversized log cabins, and we're here on about 25 acres of land. We've spent most of the year down in Florida. We have a 12,600 square foot home with 2 guest homes on a property sitting on 14 acres of land on the water with a storage building for my automobiles, and we keep about 15 vehicles down there. I love convertibles, and I love to be able to jump in one of the convertibles when the sun's shining and keep my tan up. And Bertie loves convertibles, right, honey? One of our secrets of the business I can share with you is I had to develop the skill of meeting new people and making them friends. And I can have them wherever I'm at. Wherever. How's everything right now with you?
Doing great, doing great. Little boy's getting big. We got your booth set up right over here. Follow me. Here you guys go. That way you can sit with yourselves and enjoy, folks. We'll see you.
People told me I'd never be accepted by anybody had any class. We've known personally 6 presidents of the United States.
And may I start by thanking Dexter and Bertie for inviting me back into public.
And I want to thank Dexter